All right. There's some chatter in our Pico IRC channel about feeds.sh. In particular, there was a feature request that came through of being able to not only have a digest interval, so sending an email on a digest interval, but also being able to send the email at a specific time of day. That is a great feature request. It's something that Antonio and I definitely thought about in the past. The reason why we haven't implemented it yet is because it's a little tricky with the way that we have things set up today. So I wanted to do a quick code review of how it works and get some more feedback on some alternative solutions. So basically we have a loop function that runs every 10 minutes, no matter what. The reason why we picked 10 minutes is because that's the lowest digest interval. So we're basically able to capture everything with the minimum digest interval, which is 10 minutes. And what we do is we run. This run function finds all users, loops through all the users, and then we run an individual user. Within a user, we find all the posts, all the feed posts for that user. So, we have a bunch of services and a lot of them use the posts table. Feeds is like a post, it originally was from blog posts, but now, we support uploading feeds through a post. So it's the same thing. So we find all the posts for the user that are related to feeds, and then we run the post. Each post has a last digest. So here's our here's a database. Our database. These are my feeds that I have running. You see here, each post has a last digest. So that was the last time that we successfully sent an email for that post. Okay. So back to here. So we have a validate function. The validate function, the whole goal is to determine whether or not we should try to send an email. So that validate function is right here. It takes the last digest plus the digest interval and determines the date time of when we should send another email. So digest option to time is just a map between the digest interval, and it just adds an interval to the last digest. So if your interval is 1 day, for example, we take the last digest and add a day to it. And then that's the line at which if it's before now, we don't send it. If it's after now, we do send it. So that's how it works today. Doing a time of day for a feed post is a little tricky with the way it's currently implemented, because we only give you a handful of options, and some of those options it doesn't really make sense to have a time to send an email. So for example, if the digest interval is every 10 minutes, what would the digest time be for that? That's weird. That doesn't seem like something a user would want. Even an hour, what you would say beginning of every hour, 00 of every hour, or 59 of every hour, 59 minutes of every hour, at the end of the hour, the beginning of the hour. That doesn't really make sense. 6 hours, again, none of these really make sense until you get to 1 day. And that does make a lot of sense. If you're doing a digest interval every day, it's I want to receive this interval every day at 9 a.m. That makes a lot of sense. 7 day, I could see, hey, I want a digest Friday evening every week. I see that as being useful. Every 30 days, I could see hey, at the beginning of every month, send me a digest of my feeds, RSS feeds. So maybe these last 3, it makes sense to have a time of day, or day and time to send it. Someone suggested that we just make a cron format, let users submit a cron string, and then we just parse that string and only send emails when we match when the cron gets activated. I really like that idea because the users of feeds, they're going to be familiar and comfortable with a cron string format, and there are websites online that help you build one if you don't understand that. But like because it's only really useful for 3 of the digest intervals, I'm not exactly sure if that's the path we want to take. I could see a digest time being good enough, although I don't know how they would represent that. Because like what I would imagine you would want is every day at 9 a.m. So, okay, so digest time would be 9 a.m. We could do that. 7 days, you would want to pick the day and the time. So how do you say like every Friday at 10 a.m.? It's unclear how to do that. I guess we could just make that the digest time be the key and the value be a cron string. Anyway, I didn't want to problem solve in this video. I just wanted to sort of do a quick code review of how the feeds cron works and get more feedback in chat since there was some engagement there. So, all right, that's it.